Do plants grow in an aquarium without substrate? That's what I wanted to know. Instead, I accidentally created a terrible ecosystem. What is this? What is this? What is this? But how did it get here? About a year ago, I cut some plants from this aquarium and put them in a plastic box that gets sunlight from the window. A few months later, I noticed that the cut plants survived. Some even grew healthier than the mother plant from which they were cut. There is no substrate in the plastic box. So I thought about reproducing this environment, but in a larger aquarium, to better observe the evolution of several plant species in the absence of substrate. So I started looking to buy an aquarium. I found the aquarium I wanted, but there is a small problem. It is located in Vienna, Austria, and I live in England. Well, I bought this aquarium. Including shipping, it was half the price of its normal price. Have you ever bought something so fragile from such a long distance? Did it arrive safely? The aquarium was delivered in about a week. But the main problem is to see if it was broken during transport. And why was it half the price including transport? Does this aquarium have any defects? I was pleasantly surprised to see that it didn't break during shipping. I was really surprised. For this project, I will use this filter that I tested a few months ago. I placed the aquarium on a board that is outside the stand. I hope I don't regret this. To avoid any unpleasant surprises, I will first fill the aquarium with water and leave it there for a few days. A week later, I washed the plants I wanted to put in the aquarium for an hour in a 20% bleach solution. I want the new ecosystem to be sterile. No snails or other creatures. Just water and plants. But I think the bleach concentration was too high, or I left the plants there too long. Some plants melted instantly. Normally, plants are placed in substrate so that they do not float on the surface of the water. But in the absence of substrate, I thought of this solution so that the plants do not rise to the surface of the water. Even though this plant turned yellow after the bleach treatment, I decided to put it in the aquarium. All the plants are breaking off, or their leaves are falling off. But at least that bleach ensured that the plants would be clean of snails or other creatures. This last plant is used as a carpet plant. I'm curious if it survives. I will use an LED lamp that I know very well, because I have used it for over a year in this aquarium, during which time I try to squeeze the best out of it in terms of light settings. In this video, I explain everything you need to know about which light is best for growing plants. At that moment, I had no idea about the surprises that were to come. A week has passed. A white film has formed on the surface of the water. I noticed a very small detail. Could it be a snail? Is it possible for any creature to survive in bleach while the plants melted? I still can't tell if the plants are doing well or not. I've decided to add some liquid fertilizer. But first, I have to decide which fertilizer to buy. The thing is, I don't want to waste my money on fertilizer, so I want to buy just one type. I tried to remove the biofilm that had formed on the surface of the water. I didn't really succeed. So I changed the water. I changed the water for nothing. Or maybe not. I don't know. But the biofilm reappeared quickly. But the strangest thing is this. In over 30 years since I had my first aquarium, this is the first time I've seen something like this. What is this? And one more. On this day, I also started fertilizing. I add 5 milliliters of this type of fertilizer weekly. One day later, I noticed that this creature had changed its location. I attempted to film it with time-lapse to observe its movement. I was not very successful in this. However, I realized that these are snails. So please do not attempt to wash the plants in the aquarium with bleach, as you will only kill the plants, not the invasive species on them. A day later, this organism had already grown even bigger. It's a slime mold. This is somewhat like a cross between an amoeba and a fungus. It can very slowly move overnight, forming new networks and structures with hyphae like a fungus. It can also separate into thousands of single cells, which move away from each other like amoeba, then regroup days or weeks later. It is harmless. The 11 snails are now easily visible. On this day, I noticed the appearance of some creatures about which I couldn't find out anything more. I was unable to identify them. The infestation with these creatures may have the same source as the snails. Slime molds die slowly. But I kept thinking about where they came from. It may be the bamboo sticks that I caught the plants on. So I added more of these sticks to the aquarium to test this theory. The algae disappeared like magic. Most likely, these were eaten by snails. That's why the snails grew so fast. A worm swims in the water. With no fish in this aquarium to eat them, they swim happily in the water. All this mess that you can see on the bottom of the aquarium is snail poop. It's unbelievable how much mess 11 snails could make in about 30 days. Plants use snail poop for food. Although I haven't fed the snails, they are thriving, even starting to breed. I didn't notice any slime mold on the bamboo sticks anymore. Instead, I saw something else. However, the stars of this video should be the plants, how they grow without substrate. So far, I am satisfied with the evolution of the plants. No plant has died. Let's not forget that the plants were taken from an aquarium where I do not use carbon dioxide or liquid fertilizer. This is very important. If I had used plants grown with fertilizers, their chances of survival in this aquarium would have been reduced. I put some Moina macrocopa eggs in this aquarium. This is part of a larger project in which I tried to create a live food culture for fish. I tested 4 different culture media in comparison to this one. I made a separate video about it. I can see these worms more and more often, both on the surface of the water and at the bottom of the aquarium. The water began to turn green. Several snail eggs and an unknown worm. The plants are growing very well. All plants seem to be experiencing explosive growth. I have reviewed the filter I use in the past. However, at that time, I had only used it for a few days. Now, I have been using this filter for 100 days and have noticed that the flow rate has not decreased. Although I did not intervene, the water continued to turn green. The snail eggs hatched, and now there are hundreds of small snails. I changed the water because it is important to observe what is happening in this aquarium. Since this aquarium is a project aquarium, I am interested in observing every detail. We are approaching the end. This experiment is taking place over a period of 100 days. And of course now, as we near the end, more and more interesting things are coming to light. No matter how sterile I wanted this aquarium to be, nature ultimately found its balance. I can say that it looks like an ecosystem. And the fact that there is no substrate and no predators for the little creatures here means that we can see what we generally have in our aquariums without even knowing it. It's interesting how these worms are drawn by the water entering the filter, but they sense this and swim against the water current. I feel sorry that I have to end this project. I thought it would be a static aquarium, just water and plants. But the more I look closely at what's in the aquarium, the more I discover new species. It's amazing how many unknown species there are in this aquarium. And until today, I hadn't seen them. I almost feel sorry that I don't have more time to study them. The plants grew even without substrate. So if in this aquarium the plants grow only with substrate, but without carbon dioxide and liquid fertilizers or anything else, in this aquarium the plants grew without substrate, but using a liquid fertilizer. Of course, the plants also use the nutrients found in the water column, mainly from snail poop. During those 100 days, I vacuumed the dirt from the bottom of the aquarium several times, but in the end, there was still a lot of snail dirt left. I knew this and tried to prevent it, but I was unable to clean the plants of snails or snail eggs using bleach. Although everything I have presented here is real, as it happened, this is not a tutorial on how to grow plants in an aquarium without substrate, because in a tutorial, several aspects need to be clarified and explained. This plant, which is more demanding, might not have survived much longer. The plants have grown, or rather survived, but they break easily, and their leaves are small. In the long term, an aquarium without substrate may have problems without a complete range of fertilizers. This is the end. But if you liked this video, I invite you to watch this video